The UN Human Rights Office has called for a prompt, thorough, impartial and independent investigation into the use of force by Libyan authorities against migrants and asylum seekers. The announcement comes after armed forces in Tripoli conducted a series of mass arrests last week. More than 4,000 people have been detained in overcrowded detention centers. Nokuthula Shabalala has that story.
Since Sunday, hundreds of migrants and refugees have been waiting outside a United Nations center in Tripoli. They are looking for help to escape Libya. That's following a violent crackdown in which thousands were arrested.
Last week, there was a series of major incidents beginning on October 1st, when Ministry of Interior personnel raided an informal settlement in Gergaresh, about 12 kilometers west from the capital, Tripoli, where hundreds of migrants and asylum seekers live, including people registered with the UN Refugee Agency, who were waiting completion of their resettlement procedures.
The UN's Human Rights Office says women, children and men were taken in handcuffs by Libyan security forces. At least one person died, 5 were injured and more than 4,000 were detained. The Human Rights Organization has slammed the use of force.
We call on the authorities to establish prompt, thorough, impartial and independent investigations into the claims of unnecessary and disproportionate use of force, including the allegations of killings by the security forces and affiliated groups, with a view to hold those responsible accountable. Victims have the right to justice and reparations. We also call on the Libyan authorities to release all arbitrarily detained migrants and asylum seekers, cease their raids on their settlements and halt evicting them, as well as stop criminalizing them.
Libya became a major transit point for people seeking to reach Europe. But migrants say they have faced violent abuse and extortion in the North African country.
We are extremely worried about the continued suffering of migrants and asylum seekers in Libya, who are experiencing a myriad of daily violations and abuses at the hands of both state and non-state actors.
Libya's government of national unity says they are trying to deal with the complex issue of illegal migration. Nokuthula Shabalala, CGTN.